top of the morning, and it is a beaut.
And the hope of the Irish as the future champion of the world.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio.
Welcome to the Barry J. McDonald podcast. The place where dreams get dusted off and acted on. Because life is too short. We're living on a rock that's flying through space, and hey, what the hell else were you going to do with yourself here?
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to today's podcast episode. Now, do you ever have those lovely moments where maybe you're daydreaming, maybe you're driving your car, and a lovely thought comes into your head? You know, you say to yourself, God, I would love if I just didn't have to work in this job. Or I would love if I was making maybe an extra $10,000 a month. Or I would love to be able to, work from home or start an online business or, be like those people on TikTok that have this huge following. I'd love to be able to do something like that. And for the couple of seconds that we have that kind of dream, it seems nice, it seems comfy, it's, perfect. And then after a few seconds, we just kind of dismiss it out of hand. We say to ourselves, well, that's okay, that's just a daydream, but that's never going to happen. I'm never going to have a moment where I can just walk away from my job. There's never going to be a moment where I'll be able to make that money. There'll never be a moment where I have an online business or follow whatever career I want to do. It's never going to happen. We say to ourselves, well, let's get real. Those things are only for Disney movies, where everything works out perfectly, where the fairy godmother comes along, waves a wand, and everything works out perfectly. And we go back to our little lives in reality. And the funny thing is, the life that we have in reality, it's crazy when you think about it, because although we see our little dreams as something that is just kind of flimsy, whimsical, nothing really that we should give much thought to. All around us right now, we're surrounded with other people's dreams. Maybe if you're in a car right now, you could be listening to some music album. And that music album, at one point, was just a dream. It was an idea in that musician's head. They said to themselves, I'd love to write a couple of songs, get them together, put them on an album, and publish it, and have people be able to listen to it. And because of that, you're listening to that music album. Again, you could be maybe listening to the music on some type of digital device. And again, that digital device, it started off as a dream. It started off as an idea in someone's head. Someone, maybe like Steve Jobs a few years back, who had said, well, wouldn't it be great if we could carry all our music albums around in our pocket? And because of that, that's why you have your iPhone. And maybe even the car you're in right now. It could be maybe full of gadgets, all different kind of safety features, all those different things. And the car you're in right now, not only the interior, but the shape of it, the engine, all those different things, at one point was an idea, a thought in someone's head. Someone said, well, what if we shape the car this way? What if we put a curve on the back, or, curve it at the front here? What if we make the headlights into this type of shape? What if we put the radio in this place? What if we design the steering wheel this way? What if we put this little gadget here that'll warm up your seats, or, defrost your glass, or whatever it does in your car? Somebody at one point, that was an idea, or a little dream in their head. And again, those ideas, those dreams, those thoughts that those people had were just as flimsy as yours. They were just something that came into their head. But the reason that we have those things, the reason we can listen to the music, have an iPhone in our hand, drive around in cars, or whatever appliances or whatever devices are around you right now, is because people took action on that dream, on that idea. They took a look at that idea and they gave it some thought. They didn't dismiss it out of hand. They said, well, what if I'd done that? What if I maybe just try a couple of different things and see if I can get that to work out? And maybe they got another few people involved. Maybe they asked some experts. Maybe they saw someone else doing it and they just followed what they were doing. So the more effort and the more they concentrated on that idea, the more strength they gave it. The more it came alive. until eventually it was a physical thing, or it was something that we could listen to, or something that we could drive. I know, the ideas that we have, your ideas and my ideas, we feel that our ideas are not as good, that they're nothing that we should really pay attention to or take action on. I remember when I got into fiction writing, I had this crazy idea for a kids' fiction book that just came to my head. And because it was my idea, I played around with it for weeks and weeks, thinking to myself, well, Barry, this is your idea. Like, your idea. So do you think that your idea is going to be anyway as good as anyone else who is writing a fiction book? Those people who write fiction books, they have great ideas. They know exactly what they're going to write about. But your idea? No, it's not worth it. But I kind of played around with that idea for a couple of weeks. And I kind of said to myself, could I actually write a book about that character? Could I, put another couple of little characters into the story with him? And because I played around with that idea, gave it some thought, actually took action on that little idea, that book became a best-selling book on the Amazon store. And that book, grew from one book into a 17-book box set. And yet, that was an idea that I had in my head. An idea that was so flimsy. I could have dismissed it a second later, saying to myself, well, something, Barry? Yeah, that's a good idea, but it's never going to happen. You're never going to be able to write that book. You're never going to be able to do it because you're just you, and it's just your idea. And what I would say to you is that, you could have some great ideas right now. Ideas that could transform your income, transform your life. And right now you're just almost like with a tennis racket in your hand. You're just batting them away and you're saying to yourself, well, this is just my idea and my ideas aren't as valuable as anyone else's. But really, when you think about it, there is no difference between your idea, my idea, some billionaire's idea. Now, some of us sometimes have better ideas than others, and sometimes when you take action on that idea, you can actually see, well, maybe it wasn't going to work out as good as we thought it would. But sometimes, even a flimsy idea, an idea that just comes into your head from nowhere, just when you're driving the car, when you're staring at the window, you suddenly get this flash of inspiration. Some of those ideas are really amazing. And sometimes we have to kind of acknowledge that, I don't know if you believe in God, maybe you believe in the universe, or if you believe that there is some kind of superpower that's kind of taking care of us. But me, I believe that, I think that we're not the cleverest person in the room. I think there is someone who is a lot cleverer than I am. Well, that's the way I see it anyway. Someone who's a lot cleverer than I am. And if this person or this being or this God or this energy or whatever it is, if it seemed fit to give me my idea, well, it must have gave it to me for some reason. Why did it give it to me and didn't give it to you? And that's what I'd say to you about the ideas you get. Just because you got that idea, there's probably a reason that you got that idea. And it could be that maybe you are the only person that can make that dream come true. Because of whatever life experience you had, whatever your upbringing or whatever it is, or maybe where you live, all of those things are going to factor into how you're going to make that thing come about. If I was given that dream, that idea, I mightn't be able to do it because I haven't got the materials to actually put it together. But because you've been given that idea, there's a good chance it was given to you for a reason, because you're the only person that can actually bring it to birth, bring it alive, give birth to it. So don't be so quick to dismiss your ideas, because, before I wrote that fiction book, I was like you. I was just saying, well, these are just my ideas. They're not worth anything. They're just, it's just a small notion that came into my head. There's no way that is ever going to happen. But as soon as I started writing those books, and as soon as I started, that collection of books got bigger and bigger, I realised how valuable those ideas were. And the only reason they were valuable was because I took action on them. I focused on them. I concentrated on them. And it's almost like, when you give an idea, it's almost like a newborn baby. If you don't take care of it, if you ignore it, well, it's just going to die. But if you, concentrate on that idea, give it your attention, give it your love, you will find that it will grow and it'll get bigger. And sometimes, huge businesses have just developed from some simple idea that somebody just got sitting at the kitchen table. So sometimes you need to get that idea, take action on it, and, ride it all the way into the distance to see how far you can go on it. Maybe it'll only take you so far, but it may take you further than where you are right now. So don't dismiss your ideas because they seem flimsy, because they seem worthless, and because they seem that they're your ideas. Because your ideas could be just as valuable as my ideas. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye. Would you like to know how I went from being a lowly shelf stacker, depressed, no confidence in himself, and how I went from that to becoming a popular children's author, and then on to even greater things, recording and selling my own digital products? If you'd like to find out how I did it, and if you would like to do the same yourself, if you head over to Writecom, that's WRITECOME.com, you'll find a great free report over there, which is called the Online Business Manifesto. And in that report, I'm going to show you the journey I went on from the beginning to where I am right now. And I'm going to show you the 3 business secrets I learned along the way. Now, these secrets aren't secrets that most people talk about. Some people don't even realise that they exist. So if you head over to Writecom, download the free report, you are going to be miles ahead of everyone else who has an online business. Have a lovely day, and I hope you enjoy this episode.